everybody. I want to welcome you to the February 14th, 2023 meeting of the Calvert County Board of Commissioners. I want to wish all of you a very happy Valentine's Day. First thing we're going to do is ask Father Garcia if he would come forward and give us an invocation, please.
Let's pray. Almighty and ever-living God, source of all wisdom and understanding, ruler of all things in heaven and earth, we give you thanks and praise for all those who serve the common good in Calvert County's governance and administration, especially for the Board of County Commissioners here gathered. Guide their deliberations, grant them the spirit of wisdom, charity, and justice, that with steadfast purpose they may faithfully promote the well-being of all the people of this county and serve the common good. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So Father Garcia comes today from Christ Church on Brooms Island Road. I'm going to give you a plug. Every August, Christ Church hosts a jousting tournament. It's the last weekend in August?
Always the last Saturday in August.
Correct. And they've been doing this for how many consecutive years?
I think we're up to 155 years.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. So the end of August, if you've never been to a jousting tournament, you should go down to Christ Church, and they have an excellent dinner also with the jousting tournament. It's a great day. So thank you, Father Garcia, for coming in with us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Next item on the agenda is to approve the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Mr. President, make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. So public service announcements today. We want to send out our heartfelt concerns to the victims of the earthquakes that occurred in Turkey and Syria this year. This morning I heard the death toll is up to 37,000 people. That's just hard to comprehend that many people have perished in one event. So we want to send our hearts out to all those individuals, and they still every day are finding survivors. So we hope that that continues, and want to send out our prayers to all those people out there that are doing search and rescue. And the dogs provide a great service. We forget about the dogs that do the searches and help find those victims. So, also today in history, the League of Women Voters was established on Valentine's Day in 1920. The League provides a great service to our citizens, especially when it comes around election time, providing forums. So we want to wish them a very happy birthday today. So the next item on the agenda is a proclamation. Commissioner Cox.
Julie, you want to come on up and you want to start?
Sure, I'd be happy to. All right, today we're celebrating a very special day. It's National Engineering Week, and I'd like to thank the College of Southern Maryland for their efforts in bringing awareness to this, to 72 years of celebrating National Engineers Week. And this week, this year's theme is Creating the Future, and it recognizes how engineers play a role in innovative solutions to global challenges that impact future generations. I'd like to thank faculty and engineering program coordinator Byron Berzina and student Dwight Stevens joining us today from CSM to accept the proclamation. And I understand there are also several additional engineers that are in our audience, so I'd like to invite all the engineers who are here today to come on up. We'll start with the CSM and then students, and come on up here, and then everybody else come on up, introduce yourselves, and then go up for the picture, please. Everybody who's an engineer, JR, I know you are too. Everybody.
We tend to be introverted, so it may take.
Any students in the engineering track? No? Then you can too. Go ahead, yes.
Thank you. I just like to be real brief and thank the commissioners for your ongoing support of the College of Southern Maryland and the engineering program. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead up there.
Come on up. Introduce yourself, young man.
Hi, I'm Dwight Stevens Jr. I attend the College of Southern Maryland. I want to again thank you for your support. We appreciate it here at the College of Southern Maryland. And
Thank you.
Morning, my name is Bob Estes, class of '79, University of Maryland, aerospace engineering, having done everything from propulsion to rockets to stormwater management. But I'm an amateur at that.
Good morning, Commissioner. Jared Cosgrove, Acting Director of Public Works. It's great to see the interest in the engineering field, and that we recognize this each year, because we do need engineers in this world to design things and get things built so we can continue to move on with infrastructure. Thank you.
Good morning. Joe Kajeski with COA Barrett, and I echo what JR stated about up-and-coming engineers. We're always looking for inspiring or aspiring engineers. I'll be brief, but quick story. I started in Calvert County in 2010 and just have had the, I guess, luck to work on so many great county projects. This county does a great job with schools, with the new Calvert Administration Building, Twin Beaches Library. Worked on Northern High School that I see this group is from, and Beach Elementary School is coming up out of the ground. So just a real blessing to have that opportunity locally in this county. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other engineers, last call? Future engineers?
You're not going to get Mr. Norris to come?
Sure, yeah, we do have one more. Mr. Norris?
You're fine.
If you're an engineer, you should be in that picture.
I English like an engineer, but I don't math so good anymore.
Well, we do have a wide range of engineers, and we thank you for your work and what you have done, especially for this county. So I have a proclamation here that I would like to read, and it goes like this. Whereas National Engineers Week is dedicated to ensuring a diverse and well-educated future engineering workforce by increasing understanding of and interest in engineering and technologist careers, engineers use their specialized skills and knowledge in innovative ways to fulfill society's needs, and whereas engineers help solve major technology challenges of our time, from designing efficient building systems to rebuilding towns devastated by natural disasters, the field of engineering has been called the invisible and stealth profession because everything around us, things we use every day, has been engineered in some way. Yet, we may not see the engineers behind the scenes or know much about engineering. And whereas National Engineering Week promotes the importance of technical education and high level of math, science, and technology literacy, and motivates youth to pursue engineering careers to provide a diverse and vigorous engineering workforce. And whereas Calvert County recognizes and supports National Engineers Week as the economic equalizer crucial to the long-term growth in local communities. The State of the Nation, National Engineering Week provides Calvert County the opportunity to celebrate and support engineers throughout the community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Calvert County Board of Commissioners that the week of February 19th through the 25th, 2023, be it known as National Engineers Week in Calvert County. Be it further proclaimed that all citizens are urged to actively recognize and support the importance, contributions of engineers to our daily lives, given under our hands and sealed this 14th day of February 2023, signed by all 5 commissioners. And we greatly thank you.
Always a picture.
And they can hold it right in the middle.
To prove you were here.
You still got an office.
Okay, everybody find a window. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, sir.
Good luck, young man.
Thank you.
Yeah. You come back to work. You come to work for us when you get your degree. So the next item we have is a proclamation for Northern High School. Commissioner Grasso.
Okay. Would Samantha come up, please? Is Samantha here? Could you pronounce your last name for me? Thank you. Well done. Yes. And is Ashley Stern here? Okay, and how about Donald Rexroad? No. Okay, would you say something about the Marching Patriots?
Sure. So they have had a phenomenal job this year. We had a huge growth from the beginning of the season through the end. I actually started in August this year, so they kind of had a director change, and they were able to overcome so many obstacles with that. And we ended up winning both the Maryland State Championships and the National Championships for our class. And we traveled up to Allentown, Pennsylvania for the national one and competed against 13 other bands, and they were able to overcome so many challenges throughout the season, and they've just been phenomenal. And I'm really proud of everything they've done. And we've had really great support from the community and the school, and it's just been really amazing to come and work with such great students. And they gave me a run for my money. They were like, oh no, change, but they've really grown and matured so much as musicians and marchers, and I think they really surprised themselves with how much they can do, and we're really excited to keep continuing that and really just promoting music in the schools and just having a great time being musicians and working as a family. So thank you for having us here. We very much appreciate coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Marching Patriots, would you get in line and tell us your name, please? And sorry. Just introduce yourself. You don't have to say anything but your name.
Yes, my name is Charles Frank.
Welcome.
My name is Linnea Burkholder.
My name is Anna Pizzillo.
Lorelei Ryan.
My name is Alexander Sutherland. My name is Dean Dunn.
My name is Samantha Gallion. My name is Elisa Phillips.
Tyler McLaughlin.
Henrik Lusk.
Jamison Wheeler.
Alessa DuBois. My name is Linnea Creer. My name is Leah Durham.
Charles Dunn.
Henry Aqua.
Layla Bellamy. Marissa Therian. Zoe Fraser.
Matthew Trickle.
Come on, Mary.
Ali Basillo.
Parker Niederhauser.
Yeah, come on back. We
I
won't
am-
bite, I promise.
I am obviously not a band member.
No.
I am Stacy
Well, maybe,
Karseski.
yeah.
I'm the Youth Activity Athletic Director. I want to offer a shout out to this band because nobody knows, except for the people at the high school, how many hours they put in for practice, not just during the season, but everybody thinks the football team puts in so much time. You should see them preseason. I mean, they are out there way many more hours than the football team, just to let you know. But we totally appreciate them. They are a huge part of our Friday Night Lights, and they've had great success, and we're very proud to have Sam part of our staff.
Thank you so much.
They used to have a stool for you to stand on.
Thank you.
Okay, you ready? I have a proclamation here I'd like to read. Whereas the youth of Calvert County represent our most treasured resource, the accomplishments, achievements, and abilities of these young citizens deserve the recognition and praise of their elders. And whereas Northern High School's marching band, the Marching Patriots, under the leadership of Director Samantha Andrechik, okay, sorry about that, Assistant Director and Color Guard Instructor Ashley Stern, and Percussion Instructor Donald Rexroad, won the prestigious 2022 U.S. Band Maryland State and National Championship title for Group 1 IA, completing a record season. And whereas members of the 2022 U.S. Band Group IA Maryland State and National Champions are Henry Aquia, Layla Bellamy, Alyssa Billups, Linnea Burkholder, Samantha Burnett, Annie Campbell, Logan Campbell, Chloe Clegg, Linnea Creer, Alyssa Dubois, Charles Dunn, Dean Dunn, Leah Durham, Luke Early, Charles Frank, Zoe Frazier, Samantha Gallion, Sophia Hale, Rebecca Heyer, Barbara Kazmarek, Addison Klassen, Kenrick Lusk, Tyler McLaughlin, Nathan McMahon, Camera Merritt, Layla Mitchell, Daphne Niederhauser, Hiram Niederhauser, Ruby Niederhauser, Anna Pizzillo, Alexandra Pizzillo, Lorelei Ryan, Alexander Sutherland, Marissa Theron, Matthew Trickle, Kayla Turner, Mayana Ware, Jamison Wheeler, and Josie Wheeler. And whereas the Marching Patriots have won their third consecutive Maryland State Championship with a score of 84.6, winning caption awards for Best Music and Best Visual Performance. And whereas the Marching Patriots have their first historic win of the U.S. Band's national title with a season-high score of 94.6, placing first out of 13 bands and winning caption awards for Best Music and Best Visual Performance. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners wishes to pay tribute to the many long hours of practice, outstanding performance, dedication to excellence, and distinctive accomplishments of Northern High School's Marching Patriots. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of County Commissioners of Calvert County that sincere congratulations and best wishes for continued success are hereby extended to the young men and women of the Marching Patriots on winning 2022 U.S. Bands Group 1A Maryland State Championship and the IAA National Championship. Be it further proclaimed that appreciation and thanks are extended to all of their instructors for their guidance and encouragement to the organization, given under our hands and sealed this 14th day of February 2023, signed by all Board of County Commissioners. Congratulations.
Okay, here. Can I get you two to kind of turn profile a little bit so you can see the behind you? You gotta find a window.
Stay down front.
Ms. Grasso, yeah, you can take the edge for sure. Yeah, if you're kind of in front of someone, if you can give a little profile on your body so everyone can be seen, that'd be awesome. Just back there. You gotta find your window over there in the back left. Okay. If you can't see the lens, it can't see you. That's the rule.
Smile.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Does anyone else want to come up, take a photo? No? All right. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yes.
All right, you ain't got to go back to class.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you so much. Congratulations.
How are you?
How's my girl?
Doing okay.
Good job.
This for a while.
Coming in and taking over, that's good.
He's hanging in
Jersey,
there.
so you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Brianne.
Congratulations. Yes, indeed.
There's an importance.
Yeah, I know Bruce. Yeah.
Thank you.
Tell him I said hi. Yeah.
You want to do the award? Sure. So the next item we have on the agenda is an award for the Department of Finance and Budget. Commissioner Hart? Beth? Yeah.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Beth Richmond, Deputy Director of Finance and Budget, and proud former member of the Northern High School Marching Band. So,
Yay!
anyway, I'm proud to read a memo on the FY 2023 Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. It's getting heavy. So, background. Each year, the Government Finance Officers Association, or GFOA, which is a major professional association servicing the needs of more than 21,000 appointed and elected local, state, and provincial level government officials and other finance practitioners, evaluates the county's current fiscal year budget for how well it serves as a policy document, a financial plan, an operations guideline, and a communications device. The entity will receive the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award if the document is rated at least proficient by the criteria within those categories. As the letter reads, this award is the highest form of recognition in governmental budgeting and represents a significant achievement by your organization. Discussion. For the 22nd straight year, we are pleased to inform you that the Calvert County has received the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. It's granted to the Department of Finance and Budget as we are designated primarily responsible for receiving the award. However, many employees work diligently every day to ensure that the county maintains the highest quality in financial budgeting. They take great pride in what they do, and it shows in the results. Each year, we strive to make the budget document more useful and meaningful to all of the county government and to the citizens it serves. Fiscal impact. There is no fiscal impact. Conclusion recommendation. We recommend that the Board of County Commissioners recognize staff for this achievement during your meeting on February 14th, 2023.
Sharon, do you want to say anything, or?
Yeah, something just real quick. So the budget document is a series of 3 documents. We start off with the staff recommend budget, go to the commissioner's budget, and then finally adopted budget. So we do produce 3 different budgets, which is a lot of time and effort by staff, not just within finance and budget, but within the whole county. So we just like to thank the other departments that work with us as we prepare these documents, and we're grateful and proud to receive this award again.
Well, come on down, come on up, come on up. Is there anybody,
Yeah, bring the whole team up.
Yep, the whole team. Just introduce yourselves and what position you have.
Dawn Wood, Budget Officer.
Veronica Atkinson, Capital Projects Analyst.
Good morning.
Mary Lehman, Grants Coordinator.
Feel easy for you.
Sherry Parker, Accounts Payable.
Linda Barberi Strain.
Good morning.
Kelly Gross, Budget Analyst.
Danielle Eldridge, Accountant 3.
Casey Waldron, Accountant 2.
Crystal Demar, Temp Office Specialist.
Good morning, young lady. Is that everybody? So this award is bigger than that. So some of you have gone to New York with us for the bond rating, and anybody that doesn't know, you hear us talk a lot about the bond rating, AAA bond rating. You know, you don't have to get three A's. You can get 1 or 2, which affects the bottom line dramatically. It affects everything we do. The money that we save there helps run everything. You know, every project we do, we have to borrow funds where you guys come in. And I remember on so many of these trips, you know, there's a tension, you know, because you are the credibility of the county. I mean, they know that budget as well as we do, you know, and, you know, we always joke, people think the budget is now. It's all year. It never stops, you know, and so it is so difficult to maintain that level of, because the factors change all the time. I mean, you don't know what's coming in next year. You don't know what expense. Like people say, "Oh, I wish it would snow." I'm like, they don't. Snow's expensive. You know, like, well, it looks so pretty. I'm like, snow's expensive. You know, I mean, just the little things you don't think of. You know, I mean, when COVID hit, first thing is, how's it going to affect us? You know, because we still need to function. as a government in everyday services, and that money starts to get there. And so it's extremely difficult what you do. I don't have the mind for it. You guys know my ADD is all over the charts. I could never sit there and keep focused that long. I mean, no way. So we so appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you. And I know we're going to win that 22 more because you guys, the way you approach it, you know, it's so professional and just, I mean, nothing's left for chance. Everything's verified at all times. So thank you. You're right.
Thank you. All right, you ready for a picture? Perfect. We need to scooch in a little bit, turn a little bit this way.
Be all right.
Scooch.
Scooch.
Scooch in a little bit. Smile.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. It's my associate photographer over there.
I'm smiling.
Congratulations, ladies. Not a man in the bunch. No wonder we're in such good shape.
That's why we keep winning.
Congratulations. Thank you all. Congratulations.
Hey, I have a history of that. So the next item on the agenda is appointment, and Deputy Director, Administrator Vassallo, sorry.
That's okay. Good morning, Commissioners. Linda Vassallo, Deputy Administrator. You have one appointment to the Emergency Medical Services Advisory Council, and staff is requesting that you appoint Craig Jeske.
Move to approve. Second.
A motion and a second that we appoint Craig Jeske from District 2 to the Emergency Medical Services Advisory Council. Is there any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. So the next item on the agenda is consent. There are 2 items under consent. Item 1, Department of Public Works Island Creek School Budget Adjustment Request. Item 2, Department of Public Safety Federal Fiscal Year 2020 State Homeland Security Grant. Is there any objection to the items under consent?
No.
Hearing none, those items will be adopted as presented. Next item on the agenda is new business. Department of Finance and Budget, Parks and Recreation, FY24 6-year capital improvement plan. Good morning, Director
Good
and
morning.
Veronica.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, Commissioners. Veronica Atkinson, Capital Projects Analyst with Finance and Budget. Joining me today is,
Shannon Azal, Director of Parks and Recreation. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
I'll read the memo. Background. The Department of Finance and Budget and Recreation Resources will present their proposed fiscal year 2024 6-year CIP or Capital Improvement Plan to the Board of County Commissioners. The Department of Finance and Budget reviewed Recreation Resources FY 2024 to FY 2029 6-year CIP staff recommended budget requests totaling $95,892,285. Recreation Resources requests include county parks, pools, and community centers, and natural resource parks, as well as Chesapeake Hills Golf Course. Fiscal impact. The fiscal impact for Recreation Resources 6-year staff recommended CIP is $95,892,285. This includes $20,061,785 in grant funding for multiple projects over the 6 years. The county funding portion is broken out below. PAYGO General Fund, $8,266,500. Debt or bond, $65,415,000. Excise tax, $2,149,785. And grants, again, $2,061,785. Conclusion recommendation. Staff is seeking the board's direction on recreation resources FY24. Staff recommended 6-year CIP projects. So today we will review the FY24 and 6-year CIP breakdown of cost by division. We review each project with the project leads and review the total FY24 CIP expenses and revenues. This is a breakdown of each of the divisions within Parks and Rec. Pools and community centers, FY24 is $6,907,000. Chesapeake Hills Golf Course is $289,000. Natural Resources, $650,000, with the total for FY 2024 request to be $7,846,000. I will hand the presentation over to Shannon, and she will review the projects.
All right. So with, now at the board's pleasure, would you like to go over fiscal year 24 specifically, or the entire, or all the projects throughout the whole CIP?
So you can just highlight 24 unless there's something that starts in 24 and continues out.
Yes, sir. Gotcha. Okay, so for FY24, some of the projects that we have, for Breezy Point, we have $65,000 for fencing that is currently slated from PAYGO. And then I'll also draw your attention to fencing and backstops, which has $100,000 in each year. That is maintenance of our fencing and backstops throughout the park system. Now, one adjustment that we will be making to that is that $50,000 of that was proposed for excise, but we don't have excise tax in the amount of that's needed for that. So what we would propose to do is combine the fencing from Breezy Point, that $65,000, put that into the fencing and backstops, and remove that $50,000 excise. So it would be, let's see, $115,000 fencing and backstops out of PAYGO, but would be removed from Breezy Point fencing. The next item on there for Cove Point Park. So Cove Point Park improvements based on the master plan. So that is slated for, that is grant dollars for the park, and that will be program open space funds to assist in the replacement of the basketball courts at the park.
So that's $700,000 for the basketball courts.
That's what we're estimating right now before we go out to bid. It was the same amount that we slated for the tennis court project, and it's a very similar type of project, so we're hoping it won't be more than that. We have not gone out to bid on that yet, so it's an estimate right now.
Shannon, I know field lighting, we've been talking about it for years.
Yes.
What percentage do you think? I know we started a program where we were trying to get it a little bit at a piece because it's so pricey. What percentage do you think?
So the field lighting, it's multifaceted because we're not just looking at adding lights to fields, we're also looking at upgrading our current lighting system. So it's LED and also what's called Control Link, which is the ability to be able to schedule the lights and to be able to remotely turn them off and on if needed. So that would be a cost saver both in staff time and our electric bill. So basically the lights on, nobody's home. So we're able to turn those off automatically or remotely rather than having somebody go to the park to do that. So with that project as well, I would say as far as lighting all of the fields that we could, we're probably about 75% there, but I would not, that's not including school fields. We don't have, it's not our property, and we don't have that in the plan for lighting school fields. There are also some locations within our parks that are, it's either on leased property or it's part of a facility that is planned to be relocated within a park. So we don't want to spend the money and then spend the money again, so we haven't gone forth with those particular items. So, but Ward Farm, that park will be fully lit with parking and ball field lights this spring. So that project is ongoing right now. So we're very excited for spring season to start and us be able to open the park till 11 o'clock. So, so that's a good project that we've been able to get accomplished. So.
So what's the average cost to light a field? Just so people know.
Depending on the size of the field and the height of the lights, it's between 200, 350, something along those lines, depending on the field.
Just a ballpark.
250,000, 300, yeah, not 300, sorry. Apologies for that. Right. Apologies. It's one of those government acronyms that, gets caught up. But, yeah, 250,000 to about 350,000. So we do have the field lighting program in there with funding in out years. We don't have any additional funding in FY24 through FY27, but in the out years to be able to make more significant impacts. And let's see, we talked about those. Am I on to the next page now? Okay, so also next in line for FY24, so I wanted to make mention of Dunkirk Park and in particular the splash pad project. In conversations and looking at the feasibility of the project in that area as it relates to septic and well service of a splash pad type facility. Dunkirk Park is not the best avenue for that type of facility, we found. So what we would propose is to look at some of the other items in out years for Dunkirk Park to be able to still keep that funding in the district, in District 3, and take care of some of those other amenities that need some attention at the park, replacing the restrooms, adding the pathway and light project that's been in CIP for more years than I've been with the county. So pathways, lights, there's also work on stormwater conveyance repair, and then in other projects listed on the previous page, we had field repairs, so infield mix, that would be a specific type of infield mix that is better drainage and has a longer warranty than the current product we use. We've piloted at a couple fields and it has worked really well, so that would potentially be used for this funding as well as other lighting as well. So we would be looking at reallocating that 2.5 million from bond right now. It's in the CIP as.
So,
Shannon?
Yes, ma'am.
When you figure out what it's going to cost in District 3 for those improvements and the other parks that you want to use some money in, would you give us a breakdown?
Yes, absolutely. So looking at, so the restroom facility, we estimate that that's about $500,000. The pathways and lighting, we estimate based on what we have in the project is $530, but costs go up, so I would estimate that would be at about $600. The infield mix project, that would be about $350,000, and there would be probably about $1 million left over after those items are done, including the stormwater conveyance repair that's on there. And that could be potentially an amount that could go to another park project that we have currently in CIP, either Dominion Energy Regional Park or something like that.
Well, the stormwater conveyance repair, that's a big ticket item, isn't it?
So that we have priced out, that is $144,000.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
So just a little historical background for our new commissioners. The splash pad came to us 4 years ago, 3, 4 years ago, And if my memory serves me right, at that time, it was quoted as a $500,000 project. And here we sit 3 years later, and it's $2.5 million.
And then remember it changed the way the
Oh,
bathrooms were and
The
everything
laws
else?
changed and required all
Yeah.
these crazy things, so a
It
project
wasn't
that
so
we.
simple as just popping it up anymore.
Right.
Right.
Project that we thought was simple and beneficial to the community quickly became a white elephant. So,
Yeah, and that was due to the research that, when it got moved up in the budget, the research that we ended up doing to see how to make it feasible at that facility. It was exorbitant.
Well, I remember the health codes or something, from memory serves, changed because you couldn't just, there was something with the way, like rinsing, I mean, there was
It's
a whole.
It's
crazy-
regulated as a pool, so it would have the
Yes.
same regulations
Yes.
as the Hall Aquatic Center.
Yeah.
lifeguard and everything.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, exactly, yeah, we thought you could just have where the kids could just run through and cool off, no, yeah. I
So,
we survived in the old days, they just popped open like a fire hydrant or something, kids ran through it, you know?
oh, it's
I
crazy.
know.
Counselor, so this is just a work session to remove an item. We just need consensus.
That's correct. You're forming what will be the staff recommended budget, and consensus is sufficient.
So while we're here, if there's agreement to remove the splash pad and allow the director to come back with a plan of redirecting those funds, is that okay?
I'm good.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, wonderful. The next item that we have in FY '24, so it's labeled as the Harriet E. Brown Community Center, but I would say it's more the park than the community center. So this is a combination of $400,000 in program open space funds and what is currently allocated in FY '24 from PAYGO is $600,000. What we are working on right now is developing a scope to look at phasing of the entire project and cost estimates for that entire phasing process. So we're able to better allocate funding throughout CIP. So it's in better bite-sized pieces. So we can take a look at those dollar amounts for each phase as they come. We should be able to get that done fairly quickly, so we're able to, before the CIP is adopted, at least have somewhat of a better idea of how that looks going forward, rather than a big $40 million chunk. But when we look at the phasing, the park itself will likely be in 3 or 4 phases, and then the building would come final after that. So this is, the 1 million would start the potential design of those first phases.
Do we have a projected cost for that first phase that we're trying to?
Not
for
yet,
the- okay,
not yet. That's what the, we're working on a scope right now to
Okay.
be able to determine that.
Great.
Also in FY '24, we have an allocation of $857,000 for the basketball court replacement at Howling Point Park. So program open space grant dollars of $300,000 is in that project, with the remainder of that currently in PAYGO.
So Veronica, I know, and I'm not going there just because it's HVAC, but I do have another question. When is that thing finally paid for,
Which,
the aquatic center?
oh gosh, we're at 12 years, so it would have been, I think we're at 12 years with it.
Because I knew it was there before I got here.
It would have been a 15-year bond, so depending on each time we sold the bonds.
And I haven't looked in a while. I remember what our number used to be. You know, if I just isolated it to an individual business, what it looked like. I'm not going to get into that today, but I'll come back to you on that to see where.
I would think probably like 6 years minimally, just depending on when they sold those bonds, because I wasn't here then, so I can't even guesstimate when, because just because the project started doesn't necessarily mean I sold the, they sold the bonds at that time.
Right, so it's not necessarily, right.
Right, so, we can look at that, we have that.
I know it's got to be coming off soon. It can't come off soon enough, but, yeah,
Just in time for it to need additional.
well, that's where I'm going.
We're gonna have to bond the replacement or whatever.
And yeah, and it's a whole, I mean, from conception, I mean, it's, you know, hey,
We should paint it red.
yeah, I mean, God knows I've made so many mistakes, so I'm not gonna throw rocks, you know, I mean, cause I'm easy to hit with a rock, but, yeah, I just wondered when,
I can look at that and send that
Please.
out to you guys.
and then also too, I haven't looked in a while, tickets coming in to everything, I'll go through that with you, but I just didn't know if you knew off the top of your head when that was coming off.
No, I'm sorry, I don't, but I can check that today and send that out to everyone.
Yeah, so.
And one thing I would mention too about the Aquatic Center, unfortunately, when it comes to using program open space funding for that project, program open space funding is every 20 years. So we won't be able to use any program open space funding for that project until we've had the facility for 20 years. Unfortunately, I tried.
So are the basketball courts at Howling Point larger than the basketball courts at, what was it, Cove Point? It was 700,000? Because there's $157,000.
Yes. I don't know the exact dimensions, but there is more space and parking at Halloween Point. I think there's an additional, there's additional court at Halloween Point. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So does the renovation include parking and courts, or just courts?
It should include the area that surrounds it, so anything that's within the LOD, the limit of disturbance.
Okay.
So the next item that we have for FY '24 is the planning for the Marley Run erosion control project. So we've Band-Aided that as best as we can at this point with funding that we had in operating. But we did have a point where the erosion was so bad at that facility, it was past the fence line, the fence was out of the ground, and the erosion was coming into the field. We had to close one of the fields for a time
Wow.
being.
I was gonna ask you about that, because it's been a couple years since I've been there. Are you talking about the part when you very first pull in on the left, like that big slope, that part of the parking lot? Come on
Right,
there.
so on the very far left, so there's one of the fields that butts up against that ravine, but it's that entire ravine that's been causing a problem. So we've done some mitigation in that area for now, but a lot more work needs to be done for a permanent fix. So the $100,000 would be the start of the planning for that erosion control project.
That's not the design, is it? What is the 100,000 for?
It would be for the design.
So we can design that for $100,000? JR, if you're gonna be here, you might as well participate.
He is in support of Parks and Recreation.
I know, he got his candy, he's good.
Good morning, Commissioner. J.R. Atkins,
Right.
Director of Public Works.
Right.
That $100,000 would be to move forward with the design of the conveyance system to help, move the water down the hill a little bit safer than it's currently doing.
I'm just used to designing an HVA system for $2 million, and I just didn't think you could get that done for $100,000, but.
We can manage the stormwater up there with the design for $100,000.
But
And
yeah,
you-
Construction's a whole nother story.
Right.
That park's not that old.
No,
It's age, right?
My
there's a
son
lot of
played
steep
there.
slopes up there.
Okay.
There's a lot of runoff from the parking lot. Over the time, it's starting to follow more of the pedestrian pathway than the swales it should. So
Okay.
it takes up a lot of speed going down that hill on that impervious surface.
Yeah, because everybody walks it down.
It just bypasses the drain system we have, runs out into the field, catches back off the field into a swale, and then starts eroding the outfield, so.
So you've got the projected cost over 2 fiscal years. Is it gonna take 2 years to do the work?
We're gonna phase the design, because there's a couple things we need to do. We need to work on the parking lot side to capture drainage coming off the parking lot, and we also need to capture the drainage off the field. So we're looking at probably phasing in the two years to get the work done.
But it is funny how it's only $100,000 to do that.
Thought it was a typo.
Yeah, I thought it was missing a 0 or 2.
We need to get these guys to design HVAC
Ain't that
stuff.
the truth?
Anything else?
No, JR, you can back away slowly.
Thank you, JR.
Thank you.
The only other item in this fund for FY '24 would be Ward Farm Recreation and Nature Park. That would be the continuance of the master plan for that facility. 1 million of that would be from the state fund for the gaming revenue that we receive, and then the other $500,000 is bonded through the county.
And what projects are you trying to accomplish in '24?
So our next items that we're working on, we are looking at a disc golf facility, so that it would be 9-hole disc golf throughout the park itself. We also are looking at, we have a design of an overlook pavilion for environmental education classes with our natural resources division. I want to say we also have the option of looking at the north side of the of Ward Road. That does have some items in the master plan for whether it's a field or dog park, that sort of thing. So we will be once we get through the couple of projects that we're working on now. So with the lighting, we have a playground going in, the disc golf course, we just finished the bathrooms. We'll be looking at what next items that we can get completed with the next round of funding.
So don't shoot me, but have we tried to work with CTA to get the kids involved in building some of these things that we're trying to do, give them some experience? And
So as far as building minor things, I know that we have worked with the Boy Scouts, Eagle Scouts, to do minor projects throughout our park system. I'm not sure with this facility what. Go ahead.
So, and I wasn't being specific to this, it just popped in my head. I wasn't being specific to this project at Ward Park. I was just thinking about opportunities we may have to get the career center involved and to get the kids engaged and give them some practical experience, is what I was thinking.
It would
Sure.
be worth having a conversation with them.
Sure, absolutely. I know that our staff has been in contact with the CASE program because that involves natural resources. So we have been in contact from that aspect, but we can absolutely definitely work out to the other technical programs.
Just an opportunity to
Sure.
give them some
Absolutely.
hands-on experience
Yeah, absolutely.
instead of in a shop building stuff.
Understood. Yes, sir. Can definitely do that.
Thank you.
Okay, so for Chesapeake Hills Golf Course, we have an amount of $289,000 in FY '24, and that's to help cover for our parking lot paving, in hopes that we have a couple of pennies left over in the clubhouse account, that we're able to then work on the paving after that with that funding as well, to get the parking lot redone after the clubhouse is built.
Well, I look forward to a day we do a work session. It's completed, and we look at where revenue was before and after, and how it's paying for itself. So I can say after 9 years, I told you so. So, putting a big meatball out there, Mike, but you know how much I believe in you guys down there, and it made money when I was a kid, and nobody lived here, and I have complete confidence in that facility now more so than ever. So, it's a big meatball, Mike, you tell the guys. So, but I tell you, I mean, all I hear is great things on a regular basis, and
Yeah, we have a good business plan in place. We are gearing up for the clubhouse to open. We're working on collaterals for folks that want to come in and rent the facility for weddings, tournaments, and that sort of thing. But we're anxious and we're ready to go.
it has an opportunity to be, part of the community really again, like when I was a kid, when people did get married there and they had their anniversaries there. I mean, it was a lot of memories were built in that place. I mean, I went to celebrations of life there. You know, I mean, it's it's just such a part of the neighborhood, and of course, what it does for the surrounding area. You know, I mean, so I have complete faith. So I look forward to that work session about this time next year, maybe.
I'll put it on my calendar, sir.
No pressure.
Right.
And then finally, for natural resources, so a lot of the dollar amounts in here will also need adjusted as we had proposed excise tax, but we don't have the excise tax available to be able to do what we needed here. So some of the items with the Battle Creek Nature Center, so that would hopefully, okay. So that would hopefully be able to tie in while we're working on the fire restoration for that facility. But the 90,000 for exhibit renovation, so 60,000 of that was excise. So the excise amounts will likely try to move those to program open space as another funding source for those projects, so we can still maintain those. The Bisco Gray Heritage Farm, the master plan implementation, so that entire 50,000 was excise. So we will be looking to move the majority of that to program open space, though we do have to have a match for program open space dollars, which is 25%. So we would propose potentially having that 25% be out of PAYGO of that 50,000. That's currently listed as excise for Bisco Gray. Flag ponds, the boardwalks, 50,000 of that 100 is excise, which would be moved to a grant resource. Exhibits, 25 of the 50 is excise, so would be moved to a grant. And then King's Landing Trails and Boardwalk, 35,000 is excise and will be moved to grant as well. Oh, I was looking at my page and not the presentation. My apologies. Any questions on any of those?
Don't see any.
All right.
This is a recap of our FY24 expenditures and revenue summary with all of the functional departments. We are currently at $83,028,700. Our PAYGO is at $11,561,777. Our debt bond is $38,532,000, which will come down with the removal or redistribution of the splash pad, depending if she utilizes all of it. State grant funding is at $9,240,383,000. Excise tax is at $2 million. The majority of that is Board of Education. They get the larger chunk of that money. And that comes to $61,335,700, and that is for the general fund portion. Hit me one more time. So I will see you at the end of the month. You guys get a break from me for CMR, town centers, technology, planning and zoning, and enterprise funds. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Take care.
So the next item on the agenda is a presentation by Department of Community Resources. It's the Calvert Library Annual Update. Morning, Carrie.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
How are you?
Good to see you guys
No
today.
books today?
Morning.
You haven't come and checked them out.
Something even better for you, Commissioner.
See, I had to poke the bear.
That's dangerous.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Carrie Wilson, Executive Director of Calvert Library, and I have my board president, Jeffrey Lewis, here with me today. Mike, you have to look in your bag.
Oh, okay. It's in the bag.
There's no candy. There's something even better.
Oh, we got enough candy.
Yeah.
I'm looking here.
No toys.
Yeah, I know, right? Where's the?
Look inside the welcome brochure, if you would.
Oh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, you know, it's funny you say that, okay? Because do you know there is a streaming service, right? So you know
Yeah,
how
you can
much
get
I
it with your
read.
library card for free.
Well, you know how much I read, right?
Yes, so much.
Because I can use that fast forward button and kind of get to everything I need to get to on a thing.
Yes.
But there's actually a channel. You have to have a library card.
Yeah.
And then you can view all these, you know, I love history and all
It's
that stuff.
amazing.
You can
Yeah,
watch
and I kid you not,
documentaries.
I
You
was
can
going to
do all
get
sorts.
Carolyn, because you know she has one. I was going to get Carolyn to do it for me, and
Thank you, Carrie.
yeah,
Thank you.
I'm not
Thank you very
kidding you.
much.
Just the other day, I
Some of you
wanted
already
to,
have one.
I forgot what it was. I was trying to pull up, and I kid you not, I think it was like on Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah.
And the only show was on this one streaming
Canopy.
service. But you got to have a library card.
Yes,
Who
it's
would've
now the
figured
most
that,
valuable card in your
right?
wallet.
In today's world, you got to have a library card for that.
You should
Yeah.
require that in your store.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. And
I'm going to read this memo now.
yeah, I'm not kidding you. That's too cool. You know I'm going to use it at least once.
I know. Oh.
I'm
Let me
sorry.
read this into record. It's
Put
quite
this in my
hard.
wallet so I don't lose it.
Exactly. Background, Calvert Library prepares an annual report to highlight the previous year's activities. The library is also in the third year of a strategic plan and will share information about goals for the coming year. Discussion. Calvert Library Executive Director Carrie Wilson would like to provide this summary report at a regular commissioners meeting and respond to comments, questions, or suggestions. Ms. Wilson will not request any action or funding from the BOCC as part of this presentation, as library requests are part of the regular county budgeting process. Historically, Calvert Library has hosted the new Board of County Commissioners for a tour and is happy to extend that offer as well. There is no fiscal impact, and the conclusion is to please provide time on February 14th agenda for Calvert Library staff to make this informational presentation. And it's so appropriate that it be Valentine's Day because now you can love your library as part of your regular meeting. So,
Of course.
We'll show you our house. I'm watching the Super Bowl and Carolyn's reading a book on the couch.
was she really? It was a good game too. So
Opposites attract.
libraries aren't really about numbers, right? We're about the people who walk through our doors every day, the experiences that they have, the transformations that happen in their lives. But it's hard to put that into an annual report. So we put all our numbers in the annual report to give you something to hold on to. If you could advance to the next. Oh, there it is. Look at that. Oop, I got excited. So you have a actual version of this in your bag as well, if you want to follow along on paper. As you know, we're governed by a board of library trustees. It's appointed by you all based on recommendations from the existing board of library trustees. They're a fully volunteer board. Commissioner Grasso has been a library board member in the past, so if you have questions, she can answer them for you. We also have two other support organizations. So the trustees, they are our policy and governance board. So that every policy that exists for the library is passed by the Board of Library Trustees. They approve our budget to an extent, because really you all are the approvers of our budget because we do our budget as part of county government departments. But they are responsible for fiscal oversight of the library. And they're my boss, so that's their other job, is to keep me doing the right thing. We have two support organizations, the Calvert Library Foundation and the Friends of Calvert Library. I think you've gotten an email from me in the last couple weeks. The foundation has an awards dinner honoring the prior director, Pat Hoffman, and Michael Kent, who I'm sure you all know. That's March 11th at, I think cocktails start at 6, and that's going to be at the St. John Vianney. So we welcome you all to come to that event. The Friends of Calvert Library also think it would be excellent if you all were a team for pub quiz. I think Mike could be your team captain, Excuse
did
me,
that
Commissioner
before.
Hart,
I did
you
that
have
before.
done
It's
this
fun.
before,
You
you're
gotta do, like,
experienced.
80s and music and stuff. You know, we were there, like, only Evan could answer some of those questions. They were like, you know, who wrote something in, like, 10 BC or something like
Like,
that.
got
You gotta hit me like an Elvis song or, you know,
All right,
like,
I'll
like
tell the
80s
quiz,
movie
I'll
trivia.
tell the person who writes the quiz.
I'll own
questions.
that.
All right.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
If you
Oh,
make
yeah.
a team, we'll put a stack question in there for you, Mike.
Oh, yeah, you give me any of that, like,
Can't we just replace him with a ringer?
Oh, yeah.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that was fun. That was
It's
fun
a lot
night.
of
Yeah,
fun.
when are you doing that again?
It'll be March 24th. It's going to be at the fairgrounds, so we can have up to 30 teams this time. There'll be a couple food trucks starting at 5 and cocktails.
You
That's
have to
dreamy of
remind
me.
me on that,
Beer and wine.
If we're not running around doing sports, I definitely
Yeah.
want to get down there and do that. That was
It'll be a
fun.
lot of fun. Yeah, I'm sure Katie would be on a team with you.
Oh yeah, I get
Throw
Katie.
in here.
Oh yeah, I'm
Right?
picking teams now. Yeah, yeah, I get Katie. Yeah.
So there's no like collusion of all 5 of you being the same. Like, you make 2 teams, grab some staff.
Ashley can take my place.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Come on, buddy.
Can I get Ashley too? Then I can't lose.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah,
As long as you
remind
put you just can't use your phone during the event.
Uh-oh.
It's considered cheating.
No, there's no. Well,
There's
there's,
no service
reception
there
down
anyhow.
there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Works
You're
out
safe
well.
there.
Yeah.
It works out
service
well,
line
yeah.
building.
That's true.
Oh yeah, I love that stuff. You know, like even on YouTube, they got the Mr. Quizner guy. I watch it for hours. I'm not kidding you.
So there's all sorts of information
Yeah,
here.
it's just like in the middle of the night, you know, just to kind of zone out. Yeah, yeah.
Our, these are the kind of the 6 areas of sort of what we do represented in numbers, right? We have events for preschool, for children, for teens and tweens, for adults, and intergenerational. So that's our, did 1,294 events. This is all fiscal 22 numbers. So these are all going up as we come further out of the pandemic. And that was attended by over 21,000 people. The only category here where our numbers have gone up since fiscal 19, which is kind of my pre-pandemic marker, is our reference questions, which I think is really interesting. We answered 60,000 more reference questions in fiscal 22 than we did in 19. So it's.
So I can just call you instead
You
of
can just-
Googling everything?
Yeah. If you're feeling a little overwhelmed, you've had too many, like.
That's not hard.
It's not hard, right?
I'm sorry.
Between the hours of 9 and 8, Monday through Thursday, Friday afternoons from 12 to 5, and Saturdays from 9 to 5, you don't have to think. You can just call the library.
It was a plug.
Yeah.
Our computer uses, this is a number that particularly Assistant County Administrator Vassallo should be really proud of. This number is down dramatically from before the pandemic. And I'm attributing that not to like fewer people having access, but to more people being able to access the internet at home. So kudos to you for doing all that work with Comcast and our other vendors. Some of that is that we also loan hotspots and Chromebooks, so we're both addressing the actual need for internet service, but also device usage. So between what the schools have done, what the library has done, and what's happened because of county government, I think a lot more citizens have access. It's not perfect yet, but we're making progress.
It's huge, and I don't even get into a discussion of where we are on that number, but to take that.
One more year.
Huh?
One more year.
One more year?
Yeah. We'll
I
have
mean-
them all. That's what they say.
Yep.
Because somebody said something about it, and I'm like, we tackled that before there was any funding or anything like that. I mean, that was something that, we didn't wait. And then, of course, all this funding came out of it. I mean, it's so essential, and it happens so fast.
Right.
So, and you guys see it daily.
Yep, absolutely. So our materials circulated, that's counting both our physical and our digital. So when Commissioner Hart watches his next Canopy documentary about Teddy Roosevelt, or your favorite guy.
That's the channel.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm telling you, and you gotta have a library card.
It's essential.
Yeah. Who'd have ever thought that? I'd have never thought that.
Who'd have thunk it?
I've been telling you for 10 years.
That's why you gotta go to the library now. It's like watching a show.
And you thought they were just useless.
Right.
Oh, no.
I'm so sorry, Carrie. I'm truly sorry.
This is why I come. That's okay. Our people count. This is people who've walked in the door. This doesn't count the folks who visit us online. So obviously, that number is a little lower than it used to be, but that's also coming back up. This is the breakdown of who what ages we do our programs for and the number of people who are coming to those different events. So that preschool number, that's our baby, toddler, and preschool story times. So really foundational things to help kids get ready for school. That number used to be about 20,000, and so that's a number we're really pushing hard in the next year to get back up to pre-pandemic levels. So as you know, lots of pandemic babies. We had 45 people at a baby story time a couple weeks ago at Prince Frederick, which is more people than that story time room accommodates. But that's another reason why buildings are still important, because the work that we do with families and parents and babies.
No disrespect to online,
Yeah,
but the
it's not
loss
the
of
same.
ability to talk to people
Right.
is so underrated. I mean, you know, I tell people all the time, you know, and we all can relate to this, you know, even if you went to Calvert and you didn't go to Northern or vice versa, and I'm not gonna say the word VOTEC, you don't say it anymore.
You don't say that anymore.
Career tech.
No.
CTA. But you met kids that you would have never met before and still have friendships from all then. I mean, you just can't erase human interaction. You know, it's so important. I mean, and you just see it in all facets of life. I mean, people don't know how to communicate, and they think texting is communicating. And it's just not. You know, it's not it's I don't know.
Part of our mission is providing connection to one another and to the world, and we do that starting with babies. One of those Storytime librarians just told me that some of her shyer kids in Storytime don't really interact with a librarian, but their parent had said before they start leaving for library that the baby's making her baby signs about this means friend. So she knows she's coming to see her friends at Storytime, which is that socialization that you have to start so early. So, yeah.
So Carrie, you doing any programs with homeschoolers?
Mm-hmm. We have a couple different programs we do with homeschool co-ops. Yeah, a new one just started down at Southern, and we've got some folks at Prince Frederick as well. Yeah. That card holder number just went up by a few today.
She has fun with me. You remember when I sabotaged Steve's sheet? She would wonder how many books you're going to read. I'd read like 80 on Steve's sheet. He'd just flip it over.
We have a lot of volunteers who give us a lot of their time. A lot of those volunteers are teaching classes for us. As you know, we've got an amazing county full of really smart people, and so we pull folks in all the time to teach classes, workforce development, all sorts of different things. Some of those folks are also coming into our buildings and helping pull holds for customers. But we've got a lot of meeting room use, of course. And here's Commissioner Hart's favorite part of the year when we do our hashtag Calvert Reads Summer Reading Challenge, and we just finished a Winter Reading Challenge. We consistently beat our goal for how many minutes we've read. That also counts for listening. You don't have to read, you can also listen to log your time. So, and last summer, we started off our hashtag Calvert Reads with an event down at Anne Marie Gardens that was attended by like 1,500 people, which was pretty, kind of a lot. Yeah, proud of that. We have ebooks, e-audiobooks, e-magazines, graphic novels, streaming movies and TV shows on Canopy available for checkout. There's also a program called Hoopla that you can get up to 6 checkouts a month, and there's just a huge catalog of items there. That's in addition to our actual physical books and physical audio units, videos, children's tablets, laptops, hotspots, and magazine subscriptions. The money part is easier for you to see in the version that you've got in front of you. I think, as you know, the county provides the vast majority of our budget in terms of revenue. We do get a per capita amount of funding from the state, and that goes up every year incrementally. For 23, there's, I think, a 40-cent increase. That does go through a wealth formula. So by the time Calvert County's wealth is calculated into that, we're not getting the full $17 a person. It's closer to $4 a person.
We probably owe them $2.
Yeah, right. It's not that bad, but it's not
Isn't it
great.
funny how that's done? So you
Yeah.
tax people equally, right? But then you go, well, because you
You're
do
okay.
fund school systems and libraries and stuff, you don't need that money back. I mean, how's that work? You
We're
know?
getting it back out of them in grant money for the Twin Beaches building. Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of income that comes in fines and fees that goes to the general fund. The state is paying that state retirement. So that's, librarians are enrolled in the same retirement system as the teachers. So it's the Maryland Teachers Pension and Retirement System. And the state pays the matching share for our
You shouldn't say
employees.
that out loud.
They might hear. They definitely pushed the county share down for schools, but they kept it for libraries. We've got good lobbyists in that. I know, okay, we won't talk about that.
Remember your library.
Oh, yeah, we gotten away from being quiet at the library, but thank you. We do have a library bank account that is separate from the county, and that, like, money that's raised from book sales at the branches goes into that, and that's where we pay for things like staff T-shirts and food for staff day kind of things. Our expenses, those first three categories of customer service, research, and instruction and administration are our salary. So really what's making your public library is the people that work there. They're the asset. They're the ones who are going to answer Commissioner Hans's call to, do his Googling for you. State retirement is just a pass through there. Our materials budget is nearly $400,000. That goes both to our digital services as well as the physical materials that are on the shelf. And then our operating budget is for all the other bits of program supplies and copiers and, all of the gas, electric, utilities are paid through county. Those are all buildings and grounds expenses, which is why our budget is not, like if we were really running a completely separate library, these numbers would be very different. But because we have so much support from county government and from the Southern Maryland Regional Library, who does our technical services for us and training and runs our email and the software that we use to check books in and out, there's a lot less money in operating than there would need to be if we were set up differently. So it's a very ideal system. And you can see in this fiscal year, there was more pass out of that library bank account than there was money coming in. We also get grants. Most of those come to us through the state. One Maryland One book is a Maryland Humanities, and then we had some CARES Act money in '22, American Library Association Transforming Communities, and then 2 grants through the Maryland State Library. One to conduct an anti-racism audit of the organization, and the other was equitable Wi-Fi. So if you drive by the Prince Frederick Library, you'll see like a metal picnic table that has solar panels on it. And so that's a place where people can plug in any time of day through solar charged batteries and be able to access the library Wi-Fi without having to sit on the floor in their cars when we're not open. That also purchased some other items of furniture for the Prince Frederick Library.
Before you change, I'm
Yes.
sorry. I thought we got rid of fines.
We did. That's why that number is 1,700 instead of 30,000.
So how is it
So
1,700?
the fees, we really should take the word fines off of that, because you're right, there are no fines included in that. Those are fees from lost materials for the most part, or faxing. Actually, faxing and copies are going to be under miscellaneous. So the 1,700 is just lost materials, people who just could not find the thing they checked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if anybody out there finds a library book, there are no fines.
There
You
are
can
no
turn it
fines.
in.
No harm, no foul. Bring it back, clears
Yeah.
the bill off your account.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just make sure that word gets out.
Thank you for highlighting that.
Yeah.
In addition to our staff's incredible Google skills, they also have access to a lot of databases that are paid for by the state or by the regional library. There were over 84 search sessions on those databases, not just by librarians, but by the public, probably mostly history fair kids, but nonetheless. There are like everything from, there's a homework help where you can upload your paper and get like writing help with it and get the copy back with suggestions and writing lab tutoring that is for middle school through high school, college. You could probably upload a paper too if you were unfortunate enough to have to write one. There's also Ancestry.com through the library, another thing that if you're spending money on, you wouldn't have to if you're doing family research. And then we do a ton of technology training. Librarians are helping people get email addresses and search for jobs and get hired and work on their resumes nearly every day. So we check out a whole bunch of stuff. We've already kind of been over that. It's even with everybody's busy schedule, we're still checking out more things that people read than things that people listen to or watch. See, it's over 77% words on pages. This is a lovely quote from someone who loves us. Read that at your leisure. Actually, I'm going to read this one because it's really good, and then I'll stop talking so much.
Just in case we don't.
Just in case you don't. I mean, you're busy. You're busy people. I just returned from a visit to your library. Usually I'm in and out, finding books and checking them out, but today I spent some time working in the main section of the Prince Frederick Library. I wanted to let you know that I left completely in awe of your staff. I saw members of your staff helping people with so many different tasks, logging into computers, researching topics, helping people find jobs, applying for government aid, and accessing mental health resources. But even more than the tasks being done, I witnessed their compassion, humanity, and patience. Your staff members seem well known and adored by everyone in the library today. They are literally on a first-name basis with most of the people there. You're providing an invaluable resource. You and your team should be very proud of your contributions to the Calvert County community. Just wanted to extend my gratitude. Isn't that nice?
Very nice.
Yeah. I tell you these things, but it doesn't mean as much because it's my job to tell you, but really, our customers think that too. Many of you were at our wonderful ribbon cutting for the Bookmobile, which is doing, they're just having such a good time.
Aren't you gonna let me drive it?
That was the old Bookmobile.
Not if you want to keep
Not the new
it.
one.
If you can get Ellen Simpson to say that it's okay for you to drive it, then you can drive it, which I feel pretty confident that that won't make it through risk management. They don't let me drive it.
I've driven bigger things than that.
Oh,
We
yeah.
don't have enough attorneys for that.
What do you think, John? You got a form there?
I don't have the ink, sir. Ran out of ink.
Maybe next year.
So in addition to our mobile services, we've got our locations, addresses at Prince Frederick, Southern, Fairview, and Twin Beaches branch. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to field those. I think I maybe have taken more than my share of time at this point.
Commissioner Cox.
I have a question. The people in building, do we have that broken down per facility?
I do, yeah.
Can you just send that email?
Yep, absolutely.
Thank you.
Well, I think we're all excited to cut a ribbon.
I know. Me too. This is the kind of thing you shouldn't say out loud, but remember when you told Scheibel that they'd have this done in like 12 months? And I kept saying, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 18. Well, they're pushing for 16, so we'll see what happens. But yeah.
That was just a little typo.
Just another loop in there.
But they did freak out and look at each other when I said that.
They did. They were a little concerned.
So, well, thank you, Carrie.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Coming in.
Thank you. I kid you not.
No.
Probably this weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Take care.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.
That brings us to public comment.
Thank you, sir. The board has adopted a resolution in 1989 intending to maintain the order and decorum of the governmental process. A copy of that is found here to my right. The Ethics Commission has asked us to remind speakers of public comment that lobbyists include those who seek to influence public policy, and lobbyists must register in advance. The floor has been open for public comment from persons in the meeting room who may begin making their way to the microphone, then those joining virtually. All speakers must identify themselves and whether speaking as an individual, where you'll be allocated 2 minutes, or as the designated representative of a group, where you'll be allocated 5.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Joe Cormier. I'll be speaking on behalf of me, myself, and I. I just want to give a shout out to Northern Heights Patriot Band. I've got a son who's going to be a freshman there next year, so I'm looking forward to getting him in the music program. Congratulations to all the support staff from Finance and Budget on their Distinguished Budget Award. I'm here today to express my continued concerns with you. Commissioners, low taxes, lowering taxes, keeping taxes low, it's not working. Week after week, we hear from taxpayers about their experiences with the permit process, shortened hours, or staffing issues across the county due to low wages and benefits. We hear about the water and sewer department with seriously outdated materials, losing money hand over fist if they're issuing $30,000 bills to single families. Today's consent agenda moved $30,000 from Flag Ponds HVAC to the K-9 training facility for emergency HVAC situations. Systems that have been expected to last for 12 years were deferred, going on 18 years, costing the county more in duct tape and bubble gum than it would be just to replace them when they're due to be replaced. One of our new Board of Education members, Lisa Grenis, put out a great idea at their last Board of Ed meeting, and I'm going to paraphrase her. I believe that we should hire a highly qualified CPA firm with a fiduciary responsibility to conduct a thorough best cost analysis of the Calvert County government. The firm's job would be to go through the expenses and methods of how things are done to ensure that taxpayers' money is being spent in the most efficient manner possible, that previous audits may not have been specifically looking for the best cost or efficiency. We need to ensure that every penny is a step towards getting every student the best education for citizens to receive the return on their tax dollar investment. That's what taxpayers expect from Calvert County. If that CPA firm can find just 1% in investment or efficiency, it'd save our tax dollars millions of dollars. So I'd like to make that suggestion to direct the county administrator to hire a CPA firm to look at a cost-benefit analysis. What synergies can be found between different departments and organizations in the county? Schools, parks, and rec, sheriff's office, they all buy toilet paper, toothpaste, fuel, heating oil. If we can cut out the middleman, it'll save us money. I talked to a bus contractor at the last Board of Ed meeting, and they buy their fuel at market price. There's got to be a better way to put fuel in these buses that's not gouging all of our pockets. Out of that, just what it is. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Bob Estes, and you'll be happy to hear I'm only going to speak for myself, just 2 minutes, maybe less. And I would like to congratulate Commissioner Hance on the effect that he had in talking to the staff I believe it was the last meeting. I ended up in the paper. I hope that didn't offend. But out in the community, I heard nothing but positive in what would essentially come down to a thank you from the citizens in kind of shaking things up a little. So I just wanted to let you know about that. Secondly, I've been doing a lot of work trying to get phone calls through to the state and such regarding sharing parking for the CAB with the state. And you know what it's like trying to figure out the state system and get answers. The answer I did get is that it is entirely possible to share parking with the state, which is good news. I can't go any further. It has to be done by the government. I don't know exactly which part, whether it's Public Works or who, but it is possible, and the people I talked to thought that's a good idea, because they have 200, on average, roughly 200 unused parking spaces out of 300. There's no sense in us building, like in the CAB, that under-building parking. We can get it for free just by going down slope a little bit and sharing some of their unused parking. So I would urge you all to open up that discussion again. I can't do it. All I can do is tell you what I heard and what they told me. And it'll save you roughly the building of that under building parking is on the order of 300. I would guess probably higher because everything's higher. And I did send you all an email. There's a little more detail there. And like I said, if you need any help knowing how to spend that 300, 500,000, I can give you some suggestions. And by the way, did you hear all of the budget lines on stormwater management? It's a big deal.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Caller with the last 4 digits, 2500, please press star 6 if you'd like to provide public comment.
Good morning. My name is Margaret Dunkel. I chair the Harry Elizabeth Brown Commemoration Task Force established by the Maryland Legislature. First of all, thank you for all that you do as county commissioners for our feature the Harry Elizabeth Brown Community Center and Park. Thank you so much for allocating $10 million for the Harry Elizabeth Brown Community Center and Park in 2025. We urge that you pay special attention at a minimum to keeping that funding in there this year. We also urge you to expedite plans to get phasing costs and information for this community center and park so you can actually begin work in fiscal 2024, which starts this June, not wait until fiscal 2025. At the same time, and we know we need to get phasing information, it was a disappointment to see no funding in the capital improvement plan, the CIP, for the 3 years after that, fiscal 26, 27, or 28. We respectfully urge you to find a way to move, not just to start, but also to finish the Harry Elizabeth Brown Community Center and Park sooner rather than later or eventually. The citizens of Calvert County of all ages need to keep the momentum going. Delay in building until 2029 will mean everything will cost more, and we're afraid that would actually put things off even longer. I hope you all agree we do not need a 27-acre county-funded tick farm on Fairground Road just sitting there. We do need a full community center and park that's age-friendly and serves all of our citizens. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak. I and the 36 organizations and the more than 300 individuals who are official supporters of the Harry Elizabeth Brown Community Center and Park stand ready to work with you to make this a reality. We appreciate all you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. President, that's the last speaker.
That brings us to commissioner reports. Commissioner Cox?
I just want to say thank you to Sharon and her staff on all the hard work, especially they do at the budget time. This week I went on a tour of the CTA. They were preparing for the Skills Challenge, and it was very impressive. Also attended a retirement party for hospital CEO, Mr. Dean Tiggs, and very nice send-off for him. Thank you.
Commissioner Ireland?
I was also at the CTA tour with Ms. Atkins and Skills USA students, as well as Ms. Belinsky from the Board of Education. The Calvert Skills students participated in the regionals competition. They won 13 gold medals, 9 silver medals, and 11 bronze medals, so several of them are going to states. The Career Center is in need of an electrical teacher. If you know anybody interested in being a teacher at the Career Center in the electrical field, please encourage them to contact CTA. They've been looking and they're having a hard time finding one. Also attended Dean Teague's retirement, and it was indeed a very nice send-off. It was very well attended. That's all I have.
Thank you. Commissioner Grasso?
I'm also on the MACO legislative sub-team. And there was great frustration at our last meeting because we have not been given budget numbers from the Blueprint Kerwin. We were promised it the previous Friday, then on Monday, and they just don't know when they're going to have it yet. And then after that, I went right into the MACO general meeting, and that all of us come together then for the big meeting, so I attended that as well, and that's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Hart?
Just went to Patuxent High School's open house for the incoming year and saw the robotics department and all the stuff that those kids do down there. It was really, really neat. And just wanted to wish everybody a healthy, happy, and safe Valentine's Day.
Thank you. So, I too attended Dean Teague's retirement party on Thursday night. Dean, for those of you that don't know, was the CEO of the hospital. I think his last day is the end of February, but if you've been in this county for more than 15 or 20 years, you see the great improvements that have been done at Calvert Hospital, Calvert Health. Sorry, I'm old school. It's still going to be Calvert Memorial to me. But, you know, the vast improvements that have happened at that facility under Dean's leadership has been quite amazing. And we owe him a great debt of gratitude. But he's decided that he's had enough of the hospital industry and that he wants to move on and try something else in his life. We want to welcome Jeremy, the new CEO, who's also started. I want to wish him all the best and our support in whatever endeavors and vision he has for the hospital. So it's a great, great facility and very much needed in our community, and one of the last and few independent hospitals left in this country. So they're doing very well, and we hope that path continues. Also want to congratulate Northern High School Band again. They were in here earlier. If you missed the early part of the meeting where we recognized them, not only did they win state championships, they won the national championship, and I believe they've won the state championship 3 years in a row.
Yes.
And changed band directors in the middle of the process this year, so that's quite an achievement. I say it all the time. We try to bring teams in and the different groups from the schools for the small system that we have here in Calvert County. We do amazingly well in competitions with our students at the state and national level, and we can't say enough about how great they are. And they are our future, so we want to make sure that we support them as best that we can. And just to add on to Commissioner Grasso's report about she's on the legislative committee for MACO, there is a bill, it's been introduced now 2 years in a row by Delegate Crosby in St. Mary's County, which changes the way we elect county commissioners. We as a board have opposed that bill, mainly on principle that Annapolis should not tell us how to elect our commissioners. I believe the citizens of Calvert County should dictate how we elect our commissioners. But Delegate Crosby bill is 447 is the bill number, if you look it up. Would change the process so that a district commissioner is only elected by the citizens that live in his district. And I could argue either sides of that debate, but for me, and I think for the majority of the board, the position that we take is just based on being dictated how we run our elections, and that the citizens should play a role in that. So if you hear some rumbling about that out in the community, that's what's going on. That's why we've taken the position we've taken. I don't think it's about commissioners concerned about being elected by their districts. At the end of the day, all 5 commissioners sitting up here take votes that affect every citizen in this county. Whether you're a district commissioner or an at-large commissioner, at the end of the day, you're representing all 93,000 people. So, that part is not going to change no matter who elects you to sit in this chair. So just wanted to put that out there. And once again, we want to send our prayers out to all the victims of the earthquakes in Turkey and Syria. I mentioned earlier, I think this morning they said the death toll's up to 37,000 people. We just can't comprehend that toll on citizens from a weather event. And want to keep in our prayers the teams from this country that are there and the teams from all the other countries that are there searching for victims. Every day they're still finding victims alive in the rubble. So we hope that continues. And so far today, I haven't heard any more balloons being shot down, so I feel pretty safe. And I too want to wish everybody a very happy Valentine's Day. Make sure you give your loved one an extra big hug today. And with that, Commissioner Hart, I believe I have a motion for me.
Yes, sir. I move to recess to executive session pursuant to general provisions, Article Sections 3-305B, 1I, and B8 to discuss an appointment of an appointee and to discuss pending litigation.
Second.
A motion and a second that we go into executive session. Any discussion on that motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You all have a great day.